Okay, tonight we had the 4Patriots Aztec Chili with mango. What did you think of it, Ivan?
Uh, I'm not that much of a big fan of it, but I'm pretty picky. But so it kind of tastes like there's nuts in it when you eat the beans, or like the beans are a little hard.
Ooh,
Uh,
are you saying I undercooked them?
I
I
don't
might have. I
know,
probably could have
maybe.
done a little longer.
Yeah,
So that's what. Okay.
and it's like it's a little like it has the spice of some chili, but then I don't know. But yeah,
What would you say it's seasoned enough, or do you wish the flavors came through more?
I wish the flavors came through more.
Yeah, I kind of. That was a leading question because I felt that way too. It took about 20 minutes to. It says 20 to 25 minutes. I went with 20 minutes, and it sounds like I probably should have gone with 25.
23.
23. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Ivan.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm James Brains with the Brains Report, and we're here to talk about 4Patriots 72-hour survival food kit. I actually spent the last 72 hours, more than 72 hours, living on this stuff. Um, and I have experience with all sorts of freeze dried stuff. I have a freeze dryer, so I've made my own like long term storage stuff, and yeah, it's interesting. I'm we don't like to get into politics on here, but I'm a dirty liberal, and so a name like 4Patriots, it smacks of like white supremacy and like um, rah 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 nationalism, and I feel like patriots has been co-opted by a segment of this population and using it as. But all that to say that like I was kind of hesitant to try for patriots for a long time because I was like, oh, that sounds like a dog whistle, but yeah, there's stuff that we can learn from each other by crossing the aisle, and I feel like the Patriots have the self-reliance and kind of emergency preparedness. They're kind of taking the lead on that stuff because, yeah. So I'm learning from them. But anyway, this video is not about that. This is about the 72-hour kit. So inside the 72-hour kit, you essentially have three different meals. I can probably stop holding that. You got creamy rice and vegetable dinner. That's for dinner. Sunrise oatmeal. I like how the names tell you when you're supposed to eat them. And then America's finest mac and cheese, because that's what you want to eat for lunch. And I'll get into preparations in a minute. So this all comes sealed in this package, so it's double sealed. It's got 25-year shelf life, and it's about $29 on Amazon, which works out to $9.67 per person per day. This is just for one person, so the math was pretty easy for me to do. I didn't have to rely on the guys down in the lab. Each of the packages comes with an oxygen absorber on the inside. Hopefully our editor will put the photos I took in around here. But they have an oxygen absorber, and also in the directions it tells you to remove the oxygen absorber. You're not supposed to eat it, and it's clearly marked do not eat. Of the three things I made, I did dump the oxygen absorber in with the water, with the rice, but it was before it was boiling, so it wasn't that big of a mess, but made easy to find. Yeah, double airtight. Let's get into the statistics of this. So with the 72-hour survival food kit, it works out to 1,600 calories per day. That's a little bit less than what's recommended. You're recommended 1,800 to 2,000. From personal experience, though, during the 72 hours, I did not feel hungry. This was plenty of food, and you can kind of see here, this is kind of food that was left over from the 72 hours. So there was some left over. But let's get into the statistics. Of the 1,600 calories, 74% of them come from carbohydrates. Now, that's a little high. Carbohydrates are good for quick energy, and sure, you want a little bit, but 74 is high. You kind of want to keep it, 55, maybe between 45 and 65. 11% of the calories were from protein, which is a little bit better than like the bare minimum. You want kind of at least 10%. And 15% is from fat, which is kind of low. I know that fat is kind of frowned upon, but you need it for long-term energy stores. It's going to help you in an emergency. So yeah, let's get into the taste and texture here. I've got the Sunrise Oats here. And this was great because I eat oatmeal for breakfast every morning. Each of the meals are easy to prepare. Basically, you mix them with boiling water and cook until the desired consistency. There's more details in the directions, but that's basically all you need to know. So you will need boiling hot water and something to hold them in because you can't cook them in these bags, really. But yeah, this is the Sunrise Oatmeal. And it's pretty good. I eat oatmeal for breakfast every morning as it is. I like to put raisins and brown sugar in it. There's no reason you couldn't have raisins in your emergency supply to mix in with this to kind of mix it up and kind of sneak in some fruit. Yeah, I usually make it a little bit sweeter than this, which probably isn't a good thing and gets you even more carbs. But it's good as is, which I'm happy with. This is the creamy rice and chicken stuff. You can kind of see some carrots in there. There might be a pea or two in there. And I really like this. It really grew on me. I didn't need to add any salt. Didn't have to turn to the salt and pepper shakers here for any added flavor, but I do recommend putting I like to save little salt and pepper things, like single serving things that you get when you get takeout, and save those, put them in my emergency supply, because taste is going to be very important. So I give the taste about 4 out of 5. The macaroni and cheese isn't here because I felt like there wasn't enough. That's another thing that I eat tons of. And I felt like that was only like a 2-day supply, for me at least. I'm a big guy, I exercise a lot. But I just made up with it, eating more of the rice. As far as the texture, I think texture is important for eating. The biggest negative of the textures, they're fine overall, was I didn't get any sort of chickeniness from this, from the rice. Like I would like maybe little chunks. I don't know how plausible that is, but yeah. One thing I wasn't able to test yet is long-term durability. They seem like they're good bags for storage, and came double bagged. This is another Comfort Classic Soup Stew Survival Food Kit, which I like comes in the tub. And you've got all these packages, resealable. And then, yeah, these are ones that I'm going to hold on to for a few years. So I will update you at different intervals and tell you like how well they held up.
Can you speak to, like,
Yes, do you have a question?
yeah, I do. So you have to make the full portion for the full 72 hours every time, and so you have to be able to refrigerate?
That's a good question. Thank you, camera person. Yeah, that was one thing I kind of didn't like. In theory, you could just make like a third of the package, and then make more the next day. So yeah, you could do that, kind of split the recipes into thirds. I did not try that yet. I'd like to down the road, but yeah, as for me, I just made them all and then put them in airtight containers, and that worked fine. Didn't seem to lose any flavor.
And put them in the
But
refrigerator, though.
right, yeah, you may not have refrigeration. So, yeah, kind of a negative. And that kind of gets me into another negative with this, is that I felt like there wasn't enough variety. I kind of started to get a little bored eating the same three things for 3 days in a row. Granted, you may have more in your emergency preparedness bug out bag or whatever. Hopefully you will. But instead, I would like to see like more variety, smaller packages, so that you can make just one serving at a time or one meal at a time. Yeah, so that's kind of a negative. Back to the positive though, where it lacked in variety, it did a good job in quantity. I did not feel hungry at all. This is food that will stick to your bones and leave you feeling satiated. Before I get into who this is best for, I just want to open it up for any questions. You can leave them in the comments below, or if you're here in person, go ahead and shoot. Okay, hope you left your comments below. So overall, I'd say that this is, if you're interested in getting into emergency preparedness, don't know where to start, I believe it's FEMA recommends having a 72-hour food supply, like starting with 3 days of preparedness. And you can take care of the food for just like $29. I'll put a link below. You'll support our work if you go through the link and buy. Don't let that influence you. We don't let it influence us. This is also good for people who are on a budget. Like, you may not be able to throw like hundreds of dollars toward your emergency preparedness, at least not now. So you can start with small amounts. This is also a good long-term storage solution because stuff like if you buy boxed macaroni and cheese, that's going to last you over a year in your storage. You just got to make sure you rotate it, which takes a level of organization that I don't think I have, but it does take organization. Another thing is this is fairly light. It's not too heavy. You're going on a hiking trip. This could be useful to have along. Yeah, fill you up pretty quickly. You think of that? No. Now let's get into alternatives. So one that I like is having a freeze dryer. We have one. We love it. They cost $3,000. They're out of most people's budgets, but it is nice to have. It helps with food waste. Rather than throwing away your leftovers, you can freeze dry them and be ready for when SHTF. Also, I'm going to be testing more freeze-dried goods, and so subscribe, and I'll do like head-to-head competitions, see which is best. But for the first one, I give this overall 66 out of 100. But I'll be grading them all on the same level, and in the future I'll be able to tell you how they compare. Yeah. Thank you very much, and of course, let me know if you have any questions. Stay prepared.